Hi there, we are Neon Bloom. We're at Adelaide Hall, and this is Beers with Bands.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Why don't you introduce yourself, tell us what you're drinking, and your role in the band?
My name is Simon. I'm drinking Alexander Keith's, and I play guitar and keyboard.
My name's Jen. I am actually drinking a cider, a batch 1904, a Brickworks cider, house cider. I've never had this before. I should clearly not do an advertisement for them. It tastes great, though. It's really good.
And hi there, I'm Fred. I play bass and some guitar with Neon Bloom, and I am drinking an Alexander Keith's as well.
Excellent. And I'm enjoying Estella. So, you guys obviously are doing the circuit, Toronto, all the different clubs, all the different venues. Do you have any favorites in Toronto to play at?
Oh, man. A lot of favorites. We've had some really memorable shows at the Monarch Tavern recently. That's always been a great place to play. I think our first real official show as a band with a name, we had played some shows as an unnamed collective. But our first named show was at the Horseshoe Tavern, which has always been one of the best clubs in Toronto to play at. So that was really special for us. Some different house parties and things like that we've played at have been a lot of fun as well. So, yeah, those are some of my favorites.
Mm-hmm. What about you? Same?
Yeah, I'd agree. I think we all really enjoyed the Horseshoe. We played at Lee's Palace once, which was really good. Cherry Colas we play at a lot. That's always fun.
We've had a lot of support from the Painted Lady as well, so we got to mention that one. And the Piston we've played, and we've enjoyed that one. Many great venues around the city, and we're interested to see to play at Radio for a first time, or Adelaide Hall as it's called.
Very cool. Very cool. So let's go back to some firsts. Do you remember the first beer or alcoholic beverage you ever had?
For me, it would have been sips of wine, I think, that my parents would have been like, oh, hey, try a little piece of this or something. One of my most memorable first drinks was we were on a trip in Scotland. I was probably maybe like 10 or 12 or something like that, and we had been touring like the Grouse distillery where they make scotch, and so you'd been seeing this brown liquid like flowing around all day, and it's like, whoa, what is this stuff? And then at the end in the tasting, my dad's like, all right, just take a tiny little sip, and I just remember it like burned. Yeah. It's like, I couldn't understand. I was like, why are people making so much effort to make this stuff? Now it makes a little more sense to me.
Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, I remember growing up, ever since I can remember, my mom would be cooking dinner every single night, and she'd have a Canadian beer, and I'd wait and wait and wait. I'd like pretend to help her, and I'd wait around until I could have like the first sip of it where it's all fizzy, and I'd have that, and then that would be it for the day. That was my first experience drinking. So
Nice.
very early age, but
Yeah, also at an early age, I remember celebrating a New Year's and with my friend, and the father, I think he let us share a beer, and I didn't fall. It wasn't love at first taste. It was interesting, but it's an acquired taste, and that was to come down the road. Yeah.
Nice. And do you remember the first concert you ever went to?
The first big concert I ever went to was Eric Clapton, I think, actually. Yeah. He was a favorite of mine when I was younger. Still is, actually, so that was great.
the first big concert that I went to was the Charlatans, and the Dandy Warhols were opening for them. So it was really good. Yeah, I was really young and I was so excited. It was amazing. Yeah.
My first big concert was the Red Hot Chili Peppers at Massey Hall, and interestingly enough, the opening bands were Pearl Jam and Smashing Pumpkins.
Wow.
And that was in 1991.
Wow. That's a pretty hard to beat first concert. What about first CD or cassette tape, if it applies? What was the first CD that you purchased yourself?
I don't really remember, actually.
I always got them for Christmas presents and stuff like that, and birthday presents from my dad. But I think the first one I actually went and bought myself may have been Elastica.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. Or Blur, one of those. Yeah.
The first album that I bought, or I think it was an LP, and it was Breakdance, and it was a compilation of a lot of breakdance, just a lot of breakdancing songs. Funny, and it had a poster that gave you instructions how to breakdance.
You're an aspiring breakdancer.
And I remember
I haven't seen any of those moves.
maybe you'll have to bust some out tonight.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
So who are you listening to a lot of right now? Like, what other acts are on your radar? Or songs or bands you're playing a lot now?
I don't update my musical tastes really very often. So I listen to, I think like 10 years ago, I've acquired very few new bands since then. But I've lately, like, I go through phases where I'm really into the Cramps again, and then I'm into like Susie and the Banshees. I'll start listening to them a lot, and then, I don't know. I've been on kind of like a Django Reinhardt kick for some reason, which is totally not rock and roll, but yeah, really good.
For me, been listening to more kind of like electronica stuff or like funky kind of dance music. There's a band from Germany called Parcels that I really like. I've listened to Toro y Moi. I'm going to go see him in a couple months, so I'm really excited about that. Also a band called Jungle I've been really into recently, yeah.
I'm a fan of Hot Chip, who was just in town a couple nights ago. Beach House as well, of Montreal, one of my favorites of contemporary times. And there's a big rollback of smaller name bands and a lot of local friends, but those are some of the Arcade Fire's a favorite of mine, yeah.
What are you drinking a lot of right now? And it doesn't necessarily have to be alcohol. If it's coffee or kombucha, or go-to cocktail when you're out? What's your go-to beverage at the moment?
We actually did a series of shows in Czech Republic earlier this year, and we have friends there, and we did a tour with them, and so they introduced us to a bunch of Czech beers, which I've been really into recently. So there's some that you can get here. It's obviously not the same variety that you can get over there.
How do they taste?
Yeah. So so along those lines, yeah, for me.
One of these beers is Kozel with a K. I believe it has a ram on the. And it's available in beer stores, liquor stores. It's a decent beer and reasonably priced as well. A Czech beer.
I don't drink very much alcohol, but I drink like copious amounts of tea. Like, every day, so much tea all the time.
Like herbal tea or
no, caffeinated tea, like black tea.
Just black
breakfast.
tea.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. So if you got the opportunity to brew your own beer or brew your own beverage, like any kind of beverage, whether it be brewing a coffee, what are you brewing? What is your secret ingredient? And which one of your songs are you naming this beverage? And you each get to brew your own.
I guess I'll go first. I would make a light but flavorful lager, and I would name it Lover's Dance.
Nice. What's your secret ingredient?
The secret ingredient, I feel like, I don't know if this would be good or not, but like a little bit of a fruit kind of vibe, maybe like if it's kind of we're near the end of the summer, so maybe like apple or maybe like a peach kind of tones in there or something.
I think I would try to make some sort of kombucha drink, like something very effervescent and like with a black tea base, and then put some like fruit flavors in there. But like very bubbly, and I'd call it Lighten Up.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
Going into winter, I think I'd be in the mood to create a nice stout, a dark stout, and it's going to be full-bodied, and for that reason I'm going to title it Full Fathom.
And what's your secret ingredient?
There's going to, just to make sure we're going full-on Canadiana, there's going to be some hint of maple syrup in there.
That would be good. So what's coming up for you guys for the rest of 2019? What's on your radar?
Good question. We have some shows coming up in October. What do we have? October 3rd?
Cherry Colas,
Colas.
October 3rd.
24th at the Piston. I think those are our next upcoming shows. We're recording some demos right now, which is very exciting. So hopefully there'll be some more recording to come over the winter, and we're really looking forward to hopefully releasing a new EP of music in the springtime.
Yeah.
So we're really
Early
building towards that.
2020. Yeah. And
And also, we're excited to release at the end of this month a music video that we shot while in the Czech Republic, and it's a interesting kind of spy chasing video with some fight scenes.
Lots of fight scenes. Yes.
Between you guys or other people fighting? Oh.
Us.
Fighting the guys in the band. So.
Nice.
Jen is beating us up. Basically,
Pretty much.
is most of the
Pretty
video.
much.
You
Yeah.
enjoyed this, didn't you?
It was fun. It was kind of fun.
And where can everyone find you on your socials?
Yeah, if you find us on Facebook, if you just search for Neon Bloom, you'll find us there. We're on Instagram, Neon Bloom Music. You can follow us there, or just
Neonbloom.band.
Neonbloom.band is our website, so you can kind of connect with us any of those places. All our music's on Spotify, iTunes, all the streaming platforms. So
YouTube as well,
yeah, a bunch of videos on YouTube as well.
Yeah, we have on YouTube. We have our new single out, "Lighten Up."
Okay.
And that video Fred put together, and we shot it in Taiwan. So there's a lot of travel footage. It's
Very
pretty neat
cool.
if you want to go check it out.
Very cool. And we'll make sure we link everything in the post below. We are Beers with Bands. You can find us YouTube. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a single video. We're Beers Bands on Instagram and Twitter. And cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers.